What's up, guys? I'm here to talk to you about some fights again. This time about UFC 257 going down this Saturday. Man, this is such a stacked card from the early prelims to the regular prelims to the pay-per-view card. This whole card is stacked. And obviously the main event between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor, the rematch. Man, it's an exciting one. This one, I'm going to start out with the early prelims, go to the prelims, go to the main card. It kind of makes sense to save the best for last, right? I know I didn't do that in the last one, but first up, we got Amir Albazi versus Zalgas Zumagulov. Now, I'm very excited for this one because Amir Albazi, I've been looking forward to his next fight since his promotional debut. I think he fought Malcolm Gordon. Don't quote me. I believe he fought him, though. He triangle choked him. It was one of the only triangle chokes of 2020, to our surprise. It might have even been the first one, if I'm not mistaken. His grappling is wicked. And Zalgas is a Fight Night Global champ, a 3-4-time Fight Night Global champ. This is a really good fight. Next up, we got Movsar Evloev and Nick Lentz. Movsar Evloev, this kid is for real. Watch out for him. He's still only 26, 27 years old. He's a multiple-time M1 Challenge Bantamweight champ, or maybe featherweight. And he's fighting Nick Lentz, one of the most prolific takedown artists in UFC history, who's really worked on his striking a lot lately. Like, he's got some really solid boxing now. He's got some decent head kicks to go with it, some decent leg kicks to go with it. Movsar is a wicked striker himself. He got taken down a couple times in his last fight by Mike Grundy. But that being said, Lentz is an Olympian in wrestling. I don't even think he went to an NCAA college. Next up is Andrew Sanchez versus Makhmud Muradov. I've been looking forward to Muradov's next fight since his first and second one too. I'm pretty sure he's 2-0 in the UFC. He was supposed to fight Kevin Holland in October or November or something like that, and he had to end up pulling out. That was really unfortunate, but this dude is a straight-up savage, especially on the feet. He's a wickedly dangerous striker. And Andrew Sanchez is coming off a first-round starching of Wellington Turman. Turman has the nickname The Prodigy. I believe there's only one Prodigy. If you're going to call yourself the Prodigy, you better be one. And he is a good fighter, but Sanchez just ran right through him in his last fight. It was very impressive. And I'm always impressed by Makhmud Muradov, so this is going to be a good one. Next up, we got the regular preliminary card. The early prelims will be on ESPN Plus and Fight Pass. The regular prelims will be on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Got Khalil Rountree versus Marcin Pracino. Now, Khalil Rountree has been debating retirement for probably about a year now, close to it anyway. I believe, and Pracino is 0-3 in the UFC. He's been knocked out in all three. And since Khalil Rountree has been out to Thailand, he fights like a straight-up Muay Thai fighter. And only one fight camp out there. Watch his Eric Anders fight. One of the best performances you'll ever see. It was beautiful. I love watching elite kickboxers in MMA. He's turned into an elite Muay Thai guy. I think they probably gave Rountree this fight rather, so he could pick up a win and continue fighting because we enjoy watching him fight. We don't want his motivation to leave him. So that's a pretty good matchup. Juliana Pena and Sarah McMahon. Now, both of these women, they both came back. I don't know. I think Sarah McMahon came back last year, while Juliana Pena came back in 2019. They both took a couple-year break. Sarah McMahon's a silver medalist in the Olympics in freestyle wrestling. Juliana Pena is a really good grappler herself. I'm interested to see how that one goes, because Pena just got submitted by Jermaine Durandamy, which none of us expected. I don't think that McMahon would submit her, but I could definitely see her taking her down and controlling her for 3 rounds. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Brad Tavares and Antonio Carlos Jr., the co-main event on the prelims. No, neither of these guys have fought in a while either. Both of their last fights were in the second half of 2019. Antonio Carlos Jr., obviously one of the best pure grapplers we have in the sport. Brad Tavares is a good striker. He's not too awfully dangerous with it, and he's been finished a few times on the feet, but he's very technical on the feet. And I think if he can keep his range in this fight, keep his legs away from Antonio, he's going to, outstrike him to a decision probably. Now the main event on the prelims. Nasrat Haqparast versus Arman Tsarukyan. This is such a great fight. Saryukin only has one loss in the UFC. It's to Islam Makhachev by unanimous decision, and it was actually a very close fight. A very close fight. This kid is a prodigy. His striking is wicked. He's got great kickboxing. He's got even better wrestling. Nasrat Haqparast, he's a really dangerous striker too. He knocks a lot of dudes out. This is going to be a very fun fight to watch. Do not miss this one. First fight on the main card, Mariana Rodriguez and Amanda Ribas. No, Ribas, she could have gotten Breakthrough Fighter of the Year last year. Certainly Breakthrough Female Fighter of the Year. She beat Mackenzie Dern toward the end of 2019. Mackenzie went 3-0 in 2019, or 2020 rather, so she could have got it too. But Ribas, man, she's an elite little talent. And Rodriguez only ever lost a split decision, I think, to Carla Esparza. That's her only loss. She's 12-1-2. And Ribas, I believe, is 9-1. She might be 10-1. I think she's 9-1. That's going to be a good fight. I think Ribas takes it, but that's going to be a good one. Matt Frevola is returning also to face Ottman Azatar. Ottman Azatar, man, can this dude crack. He's the guy that just knocked out Kama Worthy, to our surprise. Okay? And Matt Frevola is a very, very good fighter himself. You know, he beat Lando Venata. He beat Jalen Turner. You know, they might not have the best records, but, dude, watch them fight. Like, they're skilled talents. And he just ran right through both of them. That's going to be interesting to see how it goes. He was knocked out by Polo Reyes in his UFC debut. And while Reyes can crack, he ain't anywhere near as good as Azatar. And I don't think he can hit as hard either. So let's see if Frevola made the proper adjustments since his first defeat. Jessica Ai and Joanne Calderwood in the feature fight of the night. No, I really feel like this could have been put on the prelims, and Saryukin versus Haqparast could have been put on the main card, or even Evloev and Lentz. Like, dude, those guys deserve a little bit more shine. You know, to be honest with you, Jessica Ai and Joanne Calderwood have both had a good amount of shine in their careers. However, they are both elite flyweight talents, and they do deserve to have eyes on them as well. Calderwood was supposed to get a title shot before her last fight against Valentina Shevchenko, but she took a fight against Jennifer Maia in order to stay active because she didn't want to be out more than a few months, and she got submitted in the first round. We didn't expect that. Jessica Ai, she's a pretty good boxer. That's about the majority of what she has in her game. Calderwood's a good kickboxer, and she has good grappling too. She just got submitted by a jiu-jitsu black belt. She went 19-2 as a pro kickboxer. This should be an interesting stand-up fight. I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit the mat, but I don't know. I think it'll stay on the feet for the most part. Anyways, we'll see. I could be completely wrong. In the co-main event, we got Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. Finally, we get to see Michael Chandler make his UFC debut. This is super exciting. He's three-time Bellator champ. Actually, he's like a 5 or 6-time Bellator champ. He won the belt 3 different times. The only thing that's keeping him from being the best Bellator fighter ever was his inconsistency, which really, look at his first 2 losses. Split decision to Eddie Alvarez, who he'd finished when he was only 8-0, mind you, in the 4th round. Okay? He could have easily won that fight. Will Brooks, split decision. He could have easily won that fight. He fell from 12-0 to 12-2. He could have easily been 14-0. The Brooks rematch, he lost that fight. He didn't show up, or he just got outclassed, one or the other. His next loss was a TKO to an injury, which he avenged. And then his next loss, some say where it was an early stoppage. I thought the stoppage was justified, but really, think about it. Will Brooks and Patricio Pitbull Freire, that's 2 losses, man. His record could look a lot different. Dan Hooker, that's a tough dude to make your UFC debut against, I'll tell you. Chandler has shown the ability to get hurt. Hooker can crack. I think he's probably going to hit Mike really hard early and knock him out. I don't know, man. I don't think this is a good matchup for Chandler, but I'm very excited to see it. He definitely could win this. He is one of the best lightweights in the world. I think he's in the lower half of the top 10, to be honest, without having seen him fight any of the top guys in the UFC. That's where I'd place him, somewhere between 7 and 10, probably 6 and 10, somewhere in there. Now we got the main event, the rematch in a weight class above. Their first was at 145. You see, I love watching rematches, and I especially love watching rematches when they're in a different weight class. And both of these guys belong at 155 pounds. Their first fight happened 6 years ago. Well, it was a little over 6 years ago. No, it was in September 2014. It was the night Eddie Alvarez made his UFC debut. The night Demetrius Johnson fought Chris Carriasso. I think, obviously, these guys have both made drastic improvements. I believe Poirier's gone 10-2 with a no contest, which would have been a win if it wasn't a no contest. It was the first Eddie Alvarez fight since their first fight, and Conor has gone 6-2. They've both improved drastically, but I think the easiest to see their improvements from was Poirier because he's been more active. But you watch Conor fight every time, and aside from the Khabib fight, which he obviously was not motivated for, and even if he was drinking throughout camp. We saw it at the press conference. Even if that was the only time he drank, that's drinking within a month of the fight. Like, it's not a good idea, man. Getting drunk at that, not just drinking. But a motivated Conor, I don't know if anyone can beat him. Even Khabib, he could, but that'd be tough. I do think that this fight has a similar or even the same outcome, but I think it's a different fight. I think Conor throws a lot less wheel kicks. I think Poirier probably doesn't hit him quite as much. He got a few good hits on him in that first fight. Man, this is going to be a good one. I'm so glad Conor came back because, dude, he's almost 33 years old. He's wasted 4 years of his physical prime. Like, it's such a travesty, man. We've never seen a fighter that's as special as him. Like Sean O'Malley, he's pretty damn special. Anderson Silva was super special. Anthony Pettis was initially, but he didn't live up to the hype after winning and defending the belt. Like, I don't know. I think that Conor wins. I hope to see. He's talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao and saying that it's a done deal for 2021. Man, just stay at 155 pounds until you're at least like 34 in the UFC, and then go to boxing, dude. Achieve everything you can achieve first, please. Like, I hate seeing wasted talents, and he's turned into one of the bigger ones, if not the biggest one in the sport. It's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. I just think Poirier definitely has the advantage on the ground, being a black belt under Tim Crater. Tim Crater's a wicked grappler. He's a good coach to have a black belt under. The thing is getting Conor down, though. People shit on Conor's ground game because he got out-wrestled by Chad Mendes and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Chad Mendes is one of the best wrestlers to ever compete in MMA. He's also one of the best athletes to ever compete in MMA. He's got the best double leg ever in the sport, like up there with Georges St. Pierre anyways. And then Khabib Nurmagomedov, dude, what does he do to everybody? Literally everybody. Like, that doesn't mean his ground game sucks. His takedown defense looked good early on against Khabib. And Chad Mendes, until 2 weeks before the fight, he was preparing for Jose Aldo. And he went into that fight with an 80% torn ACL. He couldn't train wrestling even if he wanted to. There's a reason he got out-wrestled in that fight. And he still won against someone he wasn't preparing for. Mendes wasn't preparing at all, but he wasn't preparing for a wrestler. He still beat him, finished him, before this second round was up. So I think Conor's too accurate. I think he's too precise. I think he hits even harder at 155. But that being said, Poirier definitely does have a chance to win this fight. He's one of the best fighters in the world as well. What do you guys think?